Roller coasters are something enjoyed all over the world, not just in the United States. Just like how our parks here do, parks all over the world attempt to build new attractions each year to wow guests, and to keep them coming back to the gates. One of the more obvious ways to do this is to build a new roller coaster. Today we'll be covering the 15 best coasters coming in 2022 outside of the US. If you're looking for US coverage, I covered every coaster I could find in 2 separate videos for each side of the country. I've never paid that close attention to international projects until more recently, so I thought it'd be fair to broaden the channel's horizons a bit and to show you guys some of the other awesome projects going on around the world. Keep in mind that this order is very fluid for this list, and I haven't actually ridden any of these coasters. So each ranking is more of me just saying which one I think looks the coolest. Also, there's a lot of coasters we don't even know that much about that'll be featured in this video, so that's all the more reason to take the rankings even less seriously. It'll probably be a while before I actually ride any of these coasters, but I still think it's fun to see what's out there. If you'd like to hear me talk about international coasters, make sure to like the video so I know you'd like to see more. Also, if you like coaster content in general, make sure to subscribe to my channel because we have plenty of that here too. One thing to keep in mind is that a lot of these coasters could get delayed for one reason or another, or we just might not have sufficient information about each ride's opening due to their location, so please don't get angry at me if you're watching this 3 years in the future and half of these coasters haven't even opened yet. There's also a lot of Chinese parks that have really similar names, so keep that in mind if you think there's like 6 coasters going to one Feywild park, because the truth is that's not what actually is happening. That said, let's get into a few honorable mentions from rides that didn't make the cut. First up, we have a few coasters going to Genting Skyworlds, which is a newly refurbished park opening in Malaysia. The park will receive 4 new coasters, including 3 that are planned to open this year. Samba Gliders is the only coaster currently open, which is a family suspended coaster. Acorn Adventure is another family thrill coaster manufactured by Beijing Shibole Amusement Equipment. Please pardon my pronunciation. This ride is going to be themed to the Ice Age movie series, but other than that we don't know much. Finally, Mad Ramp Peak is a dual power motorbike coaster that will give the sensation that you are riding a bike through the mountains. There's also another coaster that will be an SFX coaster from Dynamic Attractions, but that isn't expected to open until 2023. Next we have Energylandia, and they're of course adding a couple of new roller coasters for this upcoming season. These coasters will be part of a new area called Sweet Valley. Cocoa Chip Creek is the bigger of the 2 coasters, and it will be a themed Vekoma mine train. They are also getting a Vekoma Junior coaster called Honey Harbor as well. A new park is opening up in South Korea called Lotte World Adventure Busan Magic Forest. This park opened up with 3 coasters, one of which made the top 15, so we'll get to that one later. The other major coaster is Giant Splash, which is a mock power splash. The final coaster is called Mysterious Cookie Train, which is the park's family-based coaster. Motion Gate is a movie-themed park in Dubai that opened up 2 new coasters this year. The more thrilling of the 2 is a 4D free spin called John Wick Open Contract, which was originally supposed to go to Six Flags Dubai. The second coaster is a Mauer spinning coaster called Now You See Me High Roller. Another new park opening up is Nickelodeon Universe in China, located inside of the Mall of China. This park will start off with 4 coasters, one of which makes our top 15, which we will get to later. The other 3 coasters include an intimate spinning coaster called Shredder, which will be similar to the Gerstlauer spinner at American Dream. There's also Mikey's Half Pipe, which is an intimate half pipe coaster, and they're also getting a Mauer Rides powered coaster that has not been named yet. Next, I'll be discussing Mission Ferrari, which is a Dynamic Attractions SFX coaster that has been delayed for like 5 years, but I've seen pictures of this thing testing with people, so maybe it'll finally open this year. This will be the 6th coaster to come to Ferrari World Abu Dhabi, and it is said to be a well-themed coaster with all kinds of effects, so hopefully this thing will finally open. A coaster that opened in Saudi Arabia this past January was Skyloop, which is a Skyrocket 2. Nothing too special here, but these rides are always a good time. A Frozen-themed coaster called Wandering Oaken Sliding Sleighs is opening at Hong Kong Disneyland. This coaster probably won't offer a lot in terms of thrills, but this should provide optimism for future Frozen-themed attractions at Disney parks. Another new park opening in China is Ocean Flower Island, and it will feature 4 new coasters, one of which made our list. The other 3 include 2 unknown family coasters and an SNS 40 free spin. Fan of Wildland is another new park opening in China with 3 coasters, and once again, one of them made our list. The other 2 are a Wacky Worm and a Vekoma family boomerang. A new Oriental Heritage Park in China is also opening up with 2 coasters, one being a Vekoma family boomerang and the other one being a Vekoma Space Warp. This coaster is a clone of Formula Energylandia, which was one of the first new generation Vekomas, which means it's probably going to be a really fun ride, but this isn't really anything new, so it just fell short of the list. Heading to Fantasy Valley in China, we have 3 coasters opening up with this park, including an American Thunder clone from GCI. This coaster will have the same layout as American Thunder, obviously, and Thunderbird at Powerland, which was technically the first installation of this layout. I've never been on either of those coasters, but I've heard American Thunder at Six Flags St. Louis is pretty solid and provides some pretty good moments. This park will also be receiving a Jinma Rides, I'm sorry for the pronunciation there, Mine Coaster, along with a much bigger ride we'll touch on later. The last honorable mention goes to Sunak Cultural Tourism City, which was the park that was supposed to be Six Flags Zhejiang. Once again, excuse my pronunciation, but Sunak has now taken over the project and they plan to open it with 4 coasters. One will be a Jinma Rides family coaster, and another will be a pretty unique looking Mauer spinning coaster. This park will also get 2 Mach coasters and a Mach Power Splash and another coaster featured on our list. Now that we're done with all of those, let's get to what everyone came here for and jump into the top 15. Number 15, an Intamin 10 inversion coaster coming to Flamingo Land in the United Kingdom. Although this coaster doesn't have a name yet, the rumored names have been Inversion or Sick. Like I said, this coaster is an Intamin 10 inversion coaster that has been shipped around a couple of times, but this time it finally seems to have found a home at Flamingo Land. I've heard very good things about this model, and it looks like a fun time. We still technically don't have any confirmed opening date for the ride, but after a 2-year delay, it looks like this coaster is nearly ready to open with a new paint job. Number 14, Giant Digger and Blue Fire coming to Latte World in South Korea, and I'm not even going to try to read this one, Something Paradise in China. As you might think, both of these coasters are Blue Fire clones from Mach Rides. I'm sure you already heard about this model, but to summarize, this ride is a good Mach launch coaster that features plenty of great moments like airtime hills, inversions, and big turns. This model has sold many times around the world, so that means these coasters should be great additions for their respective parks. Number 13, Bombay Express coming to Bollywood Parks Dubai in the UAE. This coaster will be a GCI wooden coaster that was delayed from 2021. We still don't have a lot of info about this ride, so the layout still appears to be a mystery. However, this coaster does look somewhat similar to Texas Stingray with its steel structure. This coaster is said to be breaking a world record for something, so that's there as well. And this coaster seems to be pretty compact, which means it should be well paced and should feature some good airtime moments. Regardless, I think this could be a very good under the radar coaster that might surprise some people who get the chance to ride it. Number 12, Storm Coaster at Dubai Hills Mall in the UAE. Heading cross town to Dubai Hills Mall, we have a very unique Intamin launch coaster that goes around a building. It also features a vertical LSM launched lift hill and a couple of elements that look to be inversions. Beyond that, the rest of the ride seems to be pretty simplistic and doesn't seem like it'll have a whole lot to offer, but this layout does seem pretty unique and it's probably a very fun sensation to travel around a building on a roller coaster. This coaster has opened to the public, so don't miss this if you're ever in Dubai. Number 11, a custom B&M wing coaster coming to Fantasy Valley in China. This coaster looks to have a pretty good layout with a bunch of big elements that will probably ride quite gracefully. I'm sure this ride will be an imposing attraction that should be a good start for this new park. Beyond that, I don't think this ride will be crazy good, but it will be a fun ride nonetheless. And I personally think wing coasters are pretty awesome, so this ride should be a great addition for this park. Number 10, Barracuda coming to Fuli Ocean Happy World. This coaster is one of the more unique coasters on this list, and it will be an Intamin vertical lift coaster, very similar to Fahrenheit at Hershey Park. The main feature of this ride will be the 5 inversions, including a vertical loop, Illumin, and a Cobra roll. The ride also features what appears to be a vertical drop as well, which should make for a great airtime moment. Although the layout doesn't look to be that strong, I think this ride will still be really fun, as is Fahrenheit at Hershey Park, and I'm happy to see this model continue to be built. Number 9. Roaring Timbers at Sun World Han Tham Nature Park in Vietnam. This is a GCI wooden coaster that looks to provide a fast-paced, compact layout with some more unique transitions. This ride should feature plenty of great pops of airtime along with some great lateral moments. The first drop looks nothing like anything I've ever seen before, but I'm guessing it'll give some great lateral airtime. Overall, this looks like another high quality GCI in Asia that would be a great coaster for this park, and could be another coaster that slips under most people's radars. Number 8. A Vekoma Renegade coming to Fanoil Land in China. This is actually the first of a handful of new Vekoma models to get a feature in our top 15, and these all look awesome. This coaster looks pretty weird to say the least. To me, the closest thing I've seen in this model is an Intamin Mega Light or a Mach Mega Coaster. This looks like a shrunk down version of some of Vekoma's larger coasters, and I think the first half looks insanely forceful. I don't know about the pacing later on in the coaster because it seems to lag off a bit. However, all the inversions all look spectacular, and there will probably be loads of great airtime moments. Hopefully we see more parks buy this model so we can see what it's really made of. Number 7. 2 Vekoma Top Guns coming to Fanowild and Phanta Park Road of Rejuvenation in China. Continuing with the Vekoma models, we have a couple of more Top Guns coming into China. One thing to note is that the Top Gun going to Fanowild is now scheduled to open in 2023, but that doesn't change that this model looks pretty awesome. The Top Gun model definitely gives me some Maverick vibes with the smaller trains and more compact maneuvers that it has. It also seems to be better paced than the Renegade model as well, hence why I ranked it higher. I think this ride will be very good and should be an intensity machine that I might be underselling a bit by only putting it at number 7. Number 6. A Vekoma Firestorm coming to Ocean Flower Island Fairyland in China. The last of 3 consecutive Vekoma clones is the second ever Vekoma Firestorm coming to Ocean Flower Island Fairyland in China. Wow, that's a mouthful. This ride model is definitely the largest of the 3. It has a launch of over 70 miles per hour, 3 inversions, and a couple of airtime moments. This coaster looks pretty forceful and the pacing looks very solid. I definitely expect to see this coaster clone more in the future if it's as good as it looks. Number 5. Leviathan coming to SeaWorld in Australia. At the number 5 spot, we have our highest ranking wooden coaster with Leviathan coming to SeaWorld Australia this September. This is a Gravity Group coaster that has more of a GCI-like layout, but Gravity Group can do it all with wooden coasters, so I have no doubt that this ride will slap. A wild card here is that the last row of each car will run backwards, which should make this ride feel that much more out of control if you're in that seat. Once again, I think this ride could be another big sleeper hit for this year. Number 4. A Mach Rides Hypercoaster coming to Sunac Cultural Tourism City in China. One of the more mysterious projects opening up this year is a custom Mach Hypercoaster model opening up at Sunac Cultural Tourism City, coming in at number 4 spot. The only information we have on this coaster is that it'll be approximately 196.9 feet tall and it'll reach a top speed of 67.1 miles per hour. We also know that the cost is approximately $15.4 million USD. We also aren't quite sure if this coaster will even open in 2022, but whenever it does open, I'm sure it will be great given what we've seen from the Mach Hyper model already. Number 3. Turbo Turtle Power coming to Nickelodeon Universe in China. Kicking off the top 3, we have what looks to be one of the best indoor coasters in the world. This roller coaster is said to be this park's equivalent to Shellraiser at Nickelodeon Universe in New Jersey, except this coaster will be an Intamin launch coaster opposed to being a Gerstlauer Eurofighter. This ride will feature a grand total of 8 inversions, an LSM launch, a drop of 142.7 feet, and a track length of almost 3,500 feet. This rendering here is a mock-up of what the ride could look like, and I think this ride will be amazing given what we've been seeing from Amusement lately and the stats that we've heard. This coaster could definitely be a contender for the best indoor coaster in the world if it turns out like this animation. The top 2 coasters are really hard for me to rank and I went back and forth on these rides, but this is how I ordered them. Number 2. Beyond the Cloud coming to Zhuzu Amusement Land Forest World in China. This ride looks unreal. This is definitely one of the more unique Mach coasters we've ever seen. The layout of this ride looks fantastic. It looks to have one of the best top hat elements on any roller coaster, tons of great inversions, especially the first roll, and a couple of really strong airtime moments. This ride is 203.4 feet tall, and it looks like it goes way too fast for the size of this ride. If the pacing is as good as it looks, I think this could be one of the best roller coasters ever built. Number 1. Phoenix coming to Farup Summerland in Denmark. This roller coaster looks like the pinnacle of all of Vekoma's new creations. This ride just looks to have so many good elements, with not only 14 airtime moments, but also 3 inversions that all look great. I'm especially excited for the first inversion because it basically looks like if you combine an element with a 0G stall, which should provide a unique combination of different forces. There's also an inversion in the station, which should be really fun as well. The reviews that have come in for this ride have been really positive so far, and this coaster won't be over the top intense, so a lot more people will be able to enjoy this ride. Overall, this coaster looks spectacular and should be one of the best coasters in the world when it opens. And that will conclude our list of the top international coasters opening up in 2022. I think that all of these coasters combined with a strong American cast of new rides will make for one of the best years for new coasters ever. For those of you wanting my full top 10 new for 2022 coasters, I'll put it up on the screen right now. That said guys, let me know which coaster you think will be the best that is opening in 2022. Do you think one of the coasters in this video is the best, or do you think one of the US coasters will be the best? Make sure to let me know. Also, let me know which coaster you think will be the best outside of the US. I could see some people preferring Beyond the Cloud, Phoenix, or even one of the other coasters. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like this video to help us out against the YouTube algorithm. Don't forget to drop a sub as well if you like roller coaster and amusement park content. If you like to chat with other fans of the channel, make sure to join my Discord. Also, make sure to subscribe to my second channel, WNY and Beyond, where I post no copyright footage. With all that said, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.